Hi everyone, I am Sanjay Lad. Welcome to one more video of Special Biotonic. In today's session, we'll talk about the concept of transcription. Students, in the beginning, I request you all to like my channel, share it and subscribe it. Now students, we know this flow of information from DNA to protein. This is called as central dogma of molecular biology. Now formation of DNA from DNA is called as replication. Formation of RNA from DNA is called as transcription, whereas formation of protein from RNA is called as translation. Now the process of transcription is done by the enzyme called as RNA polymerase. As the name suggests, the enzyme which forms the polymer is called as polymerase, and as it is forming the polymer of RNA, it is called as RNA polymerase. So the transcription is done by the enzyme called as RNA polymerases. Now these polymerases are of different types in eukaryotic cells, whereas they are of one type only in prokaryotic cell. We'll see it in latter part of this video. Students, to understand the concept of transcription, we should know what is the structure of transcriptional unit. Now we know that the double-stranded DNA act as a template on which the RNA is produced. The polarity of these two strands are, the upper strand is 3' to 5', whereas the lower strand is 5' to 3'. Now here the enzyme which help in transcription is RNA polymerase. Now this enzyme works in 5' to 3' direction with respect to new strand. Therefore the upper strand of the DNA act as a template, whereas the other strand is called as coding strand. Now the place where transcription starts is recognized with a segment of DNA called as promoter sequence. So promoter is a sequence of DNA which initiate the process of transcription, and this initiation of transcription is helped by the set of factors called as sigma factors. Now the sequence of DNA where the process of transcription ends, that is called as terminator. So what is a terminator? It is a sequence of DNA where the process of transcription ends, and this termination is helped by the set of proteins called as Rho factors. So in nutshell, what is a transcriptional unit? The unit which help in the formation of RNA is called as transcription unit. So it consists of double-stranded DNA. Out of two strands, one is template strand, second is coding strand. The place where the transcription start is called as promoter sequences. The place where the transcription ends is called as terminator sequences. This process of transcription is held by sigma factors and terminated by Rho factors. So this is the structure of the transcriptional unit. So students, I hope you are understanding this. Students, to go one step further, there are 3 steps in transcription. Now this is a double-stranded DNA, out of which one strand is acting as template, whereas the other strand is called as coding strand. The place where the transcription start is done or recognized by promoter sequences, whereas the terminator sequence will mark the end of transcription. Now these are 3 steps in transcription. One is initiation, elongation and termination. Okay, now this is the structure of transcriptional unit which we have seen just now. Now the process of transcription starts on double-stranded DNA, and as we said, the transcription is held by these set of proteins called as the sigma factors. So sigma factor help in initiation of transcription or beginning of transcription. Now there is an enzyme called as RNA polymerase. Now this enzyme does 2 things. One is it makes this double-stranded DNA into single-stranded DNA. Now due to formation of single-stranded DNA, it forms a bubble-like structure. It is called as transcription bubble. So this RNA polymerase does 2 things. One is it converts double-stranded DNA into single-stranded DNA, and second is it actually forms RNA structures. Now once the RNA polymerase is guided by a sigma factor, then the RNA polymerase will actually read the template strand, that is 3' to 5' template strand, and it start the process of transcription. So here, as you see, the RNA polymerase start doing the process of transcription like this. So what is happening? It is simply reading the template strand and it is forming the RNA strand corresponding to it. Now students, once the process of initiation of transcription is over, then there is a second step called as elongation of transcription. Now you can see here clearly that this part of the DNA is transcribed in the form of RNA, and RNA polymerase has come to this end. Now this double stranded DNA need to be converted into single stranded DNA so that RNA polymerase can read this template strand. So this job is done by this enzyme called as RNA polymerase. So as we said earlier, RNA polymerase does two things. One is it converts double stranded DNA into single stranded DNA, and second is it actually forms the RNA strands. Okay, so what the RNA polymerase will do here, it will convert this double stranded DNA into single stranded DNA. So there's a bubble like structure formed here. This is called as transcriptional bubble. And what will happen with this transcription bubble? So here what will happen, the DNA strand come together to form DNA double stranded DNA hybrid structure, and this RNA is pushed down. Now this RNA polymerase will read this template strand now and start adding the polymer of ribonucleotides one after another. So there's one more stretch of RNA produced. So here you can see the long stretch of RNA is produced by RNA polymerase. So initially this part of the DNA is copied. Now this next part of the DNA is copied. So this is how the next step is elongation of transcription. So students, we have seen just now two steps in transcription. One is initiation. Now second step is elongation. Now here, as long as the RNA polymerase is not approaching the row sequencer or row factors, the process of elongation continues. Now here you can see this RNA polymerase is again transcribing this stretch of DNA. So here upper part of the DNA which acts as a template, which is transcribed to form this RNA strand. Now the place where the transcription end is called as terminator sequences. Now this terminator sequences is guided by the row factors. So these are the row factors which help in termination of transcription. So what is the meaning of termination? This is a place where the actual process of transcription ends, which is guided by the row factors. So what will happen here? The double stranded DNA is separated from the RNA polymerase, and you can see the new stretch of RNA which is produced here. Now in case of eukaryotic cell, the RNA which is produced is not mature one, so it still contains some exons and introns. So it is called as heterogeneous RNA. So HN stands for heterogeneous RNA, whereas in case of prokaryotic cell, it simply forms mRNA. We'll see about it a bit afterwards. Okay, now this is double stranded DNA, and these are the sequences of these two double stranded DNA. Now as we know, upper strand of the DNA acts as a template and the lower DNA strand is actually coded. So upper strand is called as template strand, whereas the lower strand is called as coding strand. So upper is the template strand, lower is coding strand. Now based on this upper strand, the RNA is produced. So if you see the sequence of upper strand of DNA, it is ATCG, 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 ATC. Based on this strand, new RNA is produced. So it is complementary to upper strand. Therefore, the RNA which is produced is what? UAGC, 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 and UAG. Now if you compare this RNA strand with this lower strand of DNA, it is almost same, except the thymine is replaced by uracil. So if you see here, A is A, G is G, C is C. So only difference between the coding strand and RNA is what? That instead of thymine there is a uracil. So as after transcription, the RNA which is produced is exact copy of the other strand of the DNA. Therefore the other strand of the DNA is called as coding strand. So I hope you are understanding this term. Now though this is confusing, but once you know the concept clearly here, as the RNA produced is similar to the non-template strand, RNA which is produced is similar to non-template strand. Therefore this non-template strand is called as coding strand. So students, I hope you are understanding the difference between template strand, coding strand, and this is a heterogeneous RNA which is produced. Now students, as we said earlier, the RNA which is produced is not the pure one or the mature one. The immature RNA is called as heterogeneous RNA. Now to understand RNA processing, we should know what is the structure of this heterogeneous RNA in case of eukaryotic cells. Now this is the structure of heterogeneous RNA. This heterogeneous RNA contains exons and introns. So it contains sequence like exons, introns, exon, introns, exon, introns. Exons are called as coding sequences, whereas introns are called as non-coding sequences. What is the meaning of coding sequences and non-coding sequences? Now, exon actually carries the message for protein synthesis, whereas intron doesn't carry any message for protein synthesis. So for mature RNA which is produced, introns are not required. What should happen here? This intron must be removed and this exon must be joined. That is what the initial part of RNA processing. So here you can see the process of RNA processing has begun, and these introns are now ready to go out by the set of enzymes. So here you can see these introns are spliced out or they are removed out, and these exons are now joined. These exons are now joined. So this is now called as the mature RNA. Okay, there are still some processes, but what is happening here, the introns are removed out and then exons are joined. So this is one part of RNA processing. So what is happening during RNA processing? The introns are removed out and exons are joined. Now once the exons are joined, there is second step in RNA processing, that in that case what is happening, towards the 5' end 7-methyl guanosine is added. So this is called as the capping, 5' capping. So I'm repeating again, towards the 5' end of the exons, the compound called as 7-methyl guanosine is added. That is called as 5' capping. Whereas towards the 3' end, the chain of say adenines are attached. Sorry, the chain of adenosines are attached. So it is called what, poly A tail. So it is called as 3' tailing. So once the introns are removed and exons are joined, the next step is the 5' capping and 3' tailing. In the 5' capping, 7-methyl guanosine is added towards the 5' end, whereas the poly A tail is added towards the 3' end. Now this RNA which is produced is now called as the mature RNA, and this is now termed as messenger RNA. So this messenger RNA contains only those sequences of DNA which can actually form the protein. So here in mRNA which you see now, it contains only those sequences which have exons and no introns. So this is the final mRNA which is to be translated into proteins. Students, I hope you are understanding the concept of transcription. Now there is a difference between the site of transcription and translation in eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Now we know that in case of eukaryotic cell, the DNA is present inside the nucleus. Now this DNA is copied in terms of RNA by process of transcription. The RNA which is produced is called as heterogeneous RNA. In case of heterogeneous RNA, introns are removed and exons are joined, and further the 7-methyl guanosine is added towards the 5' end, which is called as 5' capping, whereas poly A tail is added towards the 3' end. It is called as 3' tailing. Now once this mature RNA is produced, this mature RNA will come out of nucleus into cytoplasm, where it is actually translated. So in case of eukaryotic cells, the transcription occurs in nucleus, whereas translation occurs in cytoplasm. Now in case of prokaryotic cell, nucleus as such is absent. Now DNA is present inside the cytoplasm, which is transcribed to form the RNA which is mature one. Now this mRNA is now ready for translation. So in case of prokaryotic cell, both transcription and translation occurs in cytoplasm. So I hope you are understanding the difference between the site of transcription and translation for the eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Now we'll see what are the further differences between the transcription in eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. As we said, transcription in eukaryotic cell occurs in nucleus, whereas this occurs in cytoplasm. transcription is done by the enzyme called as RNA polymerases. We know that. Now there are three types of RNA polymerases in case of eukaryotic cell, whereas there is only one type of RNA polymerase in prokaryotic cells. The DNA which is forming the RNA is said to be monocistronic. We'll see what is the meaning of it. Whereas it is called as polycistronic in case of prokaryotic cells. So the DNA is said to be monocistronic for eukaryotic cell, whereas polycistronic for prokaryotic cells. Now the RNA which is produced is heterogeneous type, so it need to be processed further in case of eukaryotic cell. In case of prokaryotic cell, the RNA which is produced is mature one, so it can be processed further immediately. There is no processing required. Okay, now in case of translation, the mature processed mRNA goes to the cytoplasm for translation, whereas in case of prokaryotic cell, mRNA remains in cytoplasm. There is no nucleus as such, so process of translation occurs inside the cytoplasm only. So I hope you are understanding the difference between transcription in eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Now students, we have come to almost end of this discussion. Now I hope you are understanding the concept of transcription very well. Now in case of prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cell, you can see the two mRNAs on the screen. Now there is a term called as cistron. Now cistron is a term coined by a scientist called as Benzer. Now what is a cistron? Cistron is a segment of the DNA coding for a polypeptide chain. Now polypeptide chain is a part of the protein. So in case of eukaryotic cell, as you see on the screen, this mRNA is going to form only one polypeptide chain. As it is forming only one polypeptide chain, therefore in case of eukaryotic cell, that mRNA is said to be monocistronic. Mono means single, cistron means the unit which code for a polypeptide chain. If you see the lower diagram now, this is a mRNA which is produced in prokaryotic cells. Now this mRNA will form, this particular segment of mRNA will form one polypeptide chain, second polypeptide chain and third polypeptide chain. As same mRNA is forming more than one polypeptide chain, therefore it is said to be polycistronic. So remember, in case of eukaryotic cell, it is said to be monocistronic because that segment of the mRNA will form only one polypeptide chain. It is said to be polycistronic for prokaryotic cells because this mRNA will form polypeptide chain 1, 2, 3 or more than one. Therefore it is called as polycistronic. So remember the word cistron. Cistron is the segment of the DNA coding for a polypeptide chain, and mRNA is said to be monocistronic for eukaryotic cells and polycistronic for prokaryotic cells. So students, I hope you are understanding the process of transcription very well. Students, at the end, I request you all to like my channel, share it and subscribe it. Subscription is totally free, and don't forget to press bell icon. And thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video.